What's up, everyone? This is Sara G, and it is GenZGab. Let's get into it. So, where to begin? This week's been a roller coaster, you name it. I am turning 26 on Tuesday, so we all know how great that turns into, right? I mean, you have to start looking for your own health insurance. You have to start, losing your mind in all different ways. Not to mention that I also just am a chronic illness spoony girl. Yay, yay, yay. For anyone who's not familiar, I've got Hashimoto's, I've got endometriosis. I don't want to get too much, but just so you know, if you're like me, I feel you, I see you, I hear you, and I am not looking forward to this next step in my life. But I mean, I'd rather, keep moving forward than, not. But it's just a part of life, and it sucks in a lot of ways, but it is what it is, right? I mean, we can't be perfect at everything. That being said, the strike is over so far, but I know that there's still touch and go, and a lot of people are not happy currently with the whole contract. And as a hopefully sometime union member, I personally am still reading through it all. I don't get a vote, but obviously kind of choose your way. But I keep seeing different things. I keep seeing people say educational stuff, but I also keep seeing that, you have to push for the consent for the AI, and that part freaks me out just a little bit, okay? So yeah, I'm not really sure what way we're gonna keep proceeding here, but it should be interesting. That being said, I truly want to encourage, if you believe it's the best deal, to vote that way, but I'm not going to tell you. And I know people keep saying, oh my god, propaganda here and there, and it's like, I really just don't know. And I don't have anything to say because I really don't know anything. I am kind of in developmental, if you will, but that doesn't mean that I don't think that there should be stricter laws on AI, especially with how creepy it's going to be. But everyone's going to have an opinion, and it's whether or not, how you feel at the end of the day. And I know that that sounds very, wishy-washy or just trying to work out with whatever. But my point is, I just really think that we can't all have the right idea. There's too many stuff and opinions going on that it's like you can't even hear your own thoughts, and then your whole body's shutting down and you go into fight or flight, and you really just can't stop it at that point. But as my birthday is coming up this week, I definitely want you to consider to donate to places like the Actors Fund Community Fund or Entertainment Community Fund. You can go and check that out. You can also do the Palestine Healthcare Children for Gaza. There is on Instagram, and then World Kitchen. There's just so many amazing opportunities here. I know nobody really cares about my birthday, as the great Aunt Hill would say from Grey's Anatomy, is that only the people that really care are your mama or your family. And as much as it's yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I care when I find out people are Scorpios, or just, November babies, because there's a lot of us, if you didn't catch my drift. But again, there's a lot of babies at a lot of different times of years. Now that I think about that, when people go, November and December, there's so many kids, and I'm like, yeah, because of St. Patty's Day and Valentine's Day, not the real kind of, holidays, but still a way to be stupid and do stuff. So, yeah. That being said, I kind of think about the holidays that don't really mean much to me, and I know people are gonna shade me because they're like, you should be thankful for. But again, I've never really liked Thanksgiving food, and I've never really understood, and now that I completely understand more of what happened, I don't think we really should be celebrating this holiday. And I mean, I'm just gonna sit around, but I'm like, I feel Chandler Bing on a spiritual level for this. Now, his thing was a little different. His feelings were a little different. His whole, hatred for Thanksgiving was different. But it's like, rock on, man. I mean, if you think about it, like, we should also consider other shows that have kind of held up. Cheers has really held up, and I'm rewatching it. And by the way, I cannot stand Diane. Love Carla. Diane and Cliff, like, have still probably gotten on my nerves more than anyone else, which is fair. But can we talk about for a second how much diversity they had? And how much, like, inclusivity, and without trying to be over the top about it. I just want to say, like, some of their episodes, especially for the 80s, were just beyond knocked out of the park. And I just think that we should all consider rewatching it. I mean, yeah, you could skip over the Diane parts, but just whatever. But even, like, people go, oh my gosh, do you like her in Modern Family, Shelley Long? Here's the thing, Shelley Long, she's just not my cup of tea, but she clearly does good at what she plays. So, yeah. But, yeah, I really love Rhea Perlman, and I like her more than Danny DeVito. I'm just gonna say it. But yeah, I just love the Cheers gang and kind of watching it. And again, people are like, why didn't that get a reboot like Frasier did? Also, can we just talk about from a marketing perspective? I think I kind of mentioned this last week, but how it should just be renamed, like a lot of people agree with, Cranes, because it's the third act of Frasier. First act, Cheers. Second act, Frasier. Now third act, Cranes. With all the other Cranes. Now, it could still kind of be a reboot, but at least it would be better marketed. And I'm not saying that if it's not going to get like what it is, but if it gets a season 2, maybe rebrand that. Also, could you maybe make Eve like Carla's niece or something? Because I think that could work well and get her in. Like, let's get her some screen time on this new one. He is back in Boston. They've already got Lilith. I mean, Roz is coming back. Like, I mean, I said Alice last week, but I've also said some other people. But I really love David and Freddie's though dynamic, and this week's just was so funny to watch. It felt just good to see everything, and just I don't want to reveal too much, obviously. I mean, people are probably sneaking onto Reddit or have rewatched multiple times that they're finding their groove. I do like Eve a lot, in a lot of sense of being a sounding board, etc. I do think it was a little bit funny. Now, I shouldn't say that, maybe this is just how I did it, but still a little funny, because like it has been established that she dabbles a little bit here and there, and it would just be interesting, because it seemed like her and Freddie were fighting over the same girl, and it would be interesting if they don't make Eve and Freddie a couple, that they do that, like, Eve was vibing with this girl, but this girl was vibing with Freddie, and Eve can stand Freddie, and then it become kind of that new agey Roz kind of thing. Maybe that's just a stretch and too predictable, but that's how I think. But anyway, the thing that I love about, though, Cheers is that they talk a lot about homosexuality, sexuality, human being. They talk about, single parenthood. They bring in, like, a lot of newscasters that are, female and Black, POC male. And, it's just so ingrained, integrated into the story, very just well. Like, it's not like they're trying to push this, narrative, like that they're so, progressive or whatever. It just was progressive. Now, I know people are going to say, Sarah, that's like a double entendre, or you're really doubling down on some of the things that you're saying, or blah, blah, blah. And I know you would think I would be better articulated, better clear answers. Again, this is a very little podcast that I do weekly that's low budget, and I'm just standing here kind of giving you my thoughts and feelings about the world. And again, I'm a micro podcaster. It's not like a lot of people listen to this. And again, so thankful for the people that take the time out of their week to listen to 30 minutes plus of me yammering. Now, as we're getting back into it all, I need to just kind of work my way. Plus, I'm also known for being, again, a high stressor, and we don't like cortisol getting too high here, people. And yeah, been drinking a lot of water, a lot of cranberry juice, and a lot of lemon water, and I don't think that actually stabilizes your stuff, but I've been cutting down on the caffeine, so yay. I also found out some tips this week. So I also got today, because this is recorded on Saturday, my new iPhone, and it of course never goes as smoothly as you want, but one thing I'm going to tell you today about ways to maybe help with sleep and stuff. Again, I am not an expert or anything by that means, but I will say that I found out a little trick that other people have said on the internet, because Google is free. But so here we are, where I'm going to say that you can go to accessibility on your phone and on your laptop, and then go down to color filter, turn on the like last little one at the end that says like turn on filter, turn it on red, put it in the middle. I'd say for the daily activities, you could turn it a little lower for like actual conference calls, but then turn it all the way up at night if you're someone like me who might sleep with it on, and then put the true tone on, and then it really blocks out that black light, blue light stuff that you know, can mess with us. And I have tried it for a few days, and I actually think that it's really helpful. So again, don't claim like that I'm an all-knowing, but you could look it up online, and I think that that would be very good for a lot of other people, because we as a society might feel the need that we have to fall asleep to like a book on tape, to a TV show, whatever, like something that calms your mind and feels good, but then the light thing needs to be blocked out. So it's just that balance, that never-ending balance, and things that I'm going to try to go into for this 26-year intention, if you will, to be less stressed. I say that every year, to be less stressed, to be more mindful, to not be so in fight or flight, to be healing. But we all know that that's not as much as what it seems, right? Like, you gotta be honest here. That doesn't always be. But again, we live in a society that's all about this workaholic nature, and then once you want to sit down and relax, that's not okay, and that you feel guilty for self-caring about yourself, and that just doesn't sit right with me. You know, like again, as a chronic illness person, I have to learn how to keep my stuff in check, or else it's gonna just, yeah, implode and be just a motherfucking train wreck, if you will. And I think that people need to realize that it's okay. It's not selfish. I've said this multiple times, but I journal, I get a headache, I try to lay down, those kind of things. Because if you work to the ground, everything else just doesn't work out well. So a lot of people get fatigue, a lot of people get, you know, like I said, a higher level of cortisol with that caffeine addiction. And yes, I've got ADHD, so that's a different story for a different time, about how like the ADHD caffeine connection. I would love to again get back in touch with some of the therapists on TikTok or Instagram that I've talked to in the past. Let's figure it out. But I also can't get over the fact that, you know, there's a shortage of a lot of things, and I think we're just like constantly fighting or flighting no matter what. And I know that that's again another thing of, wow, Sarah's talking about a lot of random things and going popcorn, 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 popcorn. But that's just kind of where I'm at in life, you know? It just kind of happens that way. It's like during the winter, and specifically a cat. Like, I swear to God, I was putting away laundry the other day, and then the other day I was just kind of like trying to keep up with all the stuff that I have for organization, you name it. And then my cat just jumps in my drawer. Like, she just wants to be warm. And then I give her a heated blanket and stuff. And no. She just keeps jumping in random compartments. She goes into my little brother's room. She jumps on like the highest thing to try to curl up on there, like the blankets and the sheets. She sleeps on my mom's like robe thing, sweatshirt thing. She jumps in my dad's like, like little cubby of random like clothes that you need to give away. But she's jumping all over, and that's why it's like, winter is coming. You don't need the Game of Thrones people to say, winter is coming. Or like Thor. And why did I just do like Gollum there? That was not. I barely watched that stuff. I just know Gollum from Laura High. Hey Laura. By the way, if you have not watched her yet, she is season 2, episode 2 of GenZGab. Last year, we talked about a lot of cool things. She also has her own podcast called Insemination, so go and check that out. I also watched an amazing new special on Netflix. You should go and check it out. Yeah, so there's all that. But yeah, I was just like, your dog is not as cold because she is like nosediving into her blankets and being all like, I want to sleep in my crate. I want to sleep on my bed. No, my cat, on the other hand, is like, here, I'm not going to tell you that I'm cold, but I am cold. And so I'm just going to jump in every like little basket compartment. And people who've never had cats, that's actually, this is one of your losses because it's kind of funny to watch. But yeah, she's just interesting. But she's got like where some days it's so hot, some days it's so cold, she doesn't know, and then she behaves like some days spring fever, some day not. So it goes on and on and on. But we have not had a mouse in a lot of days. Like I said, glue traps and glue traps plus the guillotine style, are with a little bit of honey were the ones that got the most. And obviously you should consider getting a cat or a terrier, like I said last week. So yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about this week for the pets. But we're moving on quick to the final little thing on my... So today I set up my phone, and for anyone who goes in to trade their phone or whatever knows the deal. And my dad's kind of funny because he's like, I got nothing to do, let's go and do it together. And originally I thought he was going to go and get his battery changed also, but I guess that's not the case like many other things and whatever. But apparently also, if your phone is less than 80%, they'd recommend a change in the ways of doing an iPhone. What did I mean by in the ways of doing it? Well, you can either replace your battery, which I think should happen more, and it should be offered cheaper than it probably is, or get a new phone. So yeah, But I've had my phone for 2.5 years, and I just was like, fine, like I'm gonna upgrade if I'm gonna upgrade, and my phone was in decent care, and then it's like you can get up to 400 with it. I got 360. But the point is that if you're someone like me that is trying to keep as many hackers out of my system, yeah, you might have an extra passcode. So that's what tripped us up for a while. And not to mention, why do these geniuses think that they can hack my thing and then they make me sit around for like 20 minutes trying to get into my phone after telling me it's the normal passcode? It is not the normal passcode, it's the emergency passcode or the extra screen time passcode. And my dad, meanwhile, is like trying to figure out what his passcode, like if it has anything to do with him, if it has anything to do with my watch. Like, we've got so much stuff going on right now. And anyway, by the time I figured it out, it was just like, yeah, it was that simple. But we don't always do simplicity. But I will say that the one thing that is really funny is that this person that was helping me out reminded me of my brother, in a lot of ways and in good ways. But it was just still funny how it's like when sometimes people that, are kind of like other people, it's like, oh my gosh, they can't figure out this problem. Like they're stuck on it. When I say we can just move on by looking at the whole iCloud and it updating, all that stuff. No. These people have to go and get a genius, then another genius, then another. And soon I have like 5 people around me, and then they're asking me all these hundreds and thousands of questions. Then they move over and start grabbing my dad's phone and start messing around with it. No way should we be doing that. Because if you lock yourself out like my phone you did, then we're really stuck here forever, and you're not going to get a good review. So luckily it all worked out. But the problem is also this, which I've noticed too. and this is my own conspiracy theory, but again, it's not like conspiracy, but it is. But I mean, I feel like doctor's offices always weigh you higher than you are and measure you a little shorter than you are to, like, you know, mess with the BMI. And we gotta stop looking at the BMI, I know, or whatever, but it's still just how it is. But it's like a weird thing that my brain goes to. But I brought this up to someone yesterday, and the person just looked at me like I was crazy on the height thing, maybe not the weight thing, but that it is what it is. But yeah, that was kind of my takeaway on that. But the problem was that, anyway, they make this iPhone just a little bit bigger or just a little bit smaller than the case that I have for my iPhone 12 that I had a few years ago. So basically, yeah, you're spending a lot more money, and people can say that's mass media marketing, all the stuff that you've studied, Sarah, and I completely agree. But I'm sitting here like, I get why they are doing this, and I know, and I don't really want to be a part of consumerism. But also, I need a phone. But well played on every level, Apple. But also, there was a woman in front of me who was talking about how she wanted this specific one, this specific type, and then the person told her that she could go and order hers online, all that stuff, or go to a different store, and she just goes, nah, I'm just gonna come with Black Friday. And I said, maybe I should have waited till Black Friday. My dad brings up another great idea, but kind of, you know, pretty logical. That you probably wouldn't get as much for the phone in the end because of this other discount. So it's like always these like tactics. Like I'm always trying to figure out how to spend less money, you know. I need to budget more. I have no job right now. That's why I am doing this, you know. It's just encompassing everything that a 20-something is kind of going through. But you have to remind yourself again and again and again, a lot of these TV shows that you found relatable in the 90s were about 20-somethings who had no idea what they were doing with their life. You are a 20-something that has no idea what you are doing with your life, and that is okay. We have options and you know, a lot of availability to do more now. Do I think, though, that when people say stuff, the one thing I will say, things like, oh, why do you want to do everything at home, at whatever, it's because you just don't want to have the hassle that all this other stuff goes along with, but then IT is helpful. But my point is, you never really know what way it's going to go, because here's the thing, I could have ordered my phone off of online, done all this, set it up at home, and been really frustrated and go online and have an Apple Genius person open it in and out and in and out and in and out, like have that window pop down, you know, just all that fun stuff. Or I could have done this where I spent about 2 hours in the Apple store making sure everything figured out. And you know what, I have to say, toddlers perfectly encompass my emotion. There was a young family with 2 very adorable little kids, and this little kid just wanted to get out. I've been sitting there for a while, behaved actually very well, wasn't like pulling off things from the shelves, but you know, just doing what like toddlers do, and I'm like, feel it, kid. Feel it, man. I know you. I got this. You got this. You know, and also I think about little like relatives that I have, and it's like, you are allowed to feel your feelings. Don't let society tell you not to feel your feelings. We are in a too much of a shit show not to let us feel our feelings, you know? Like there's too much of the masking of the ADHD, neurodivergent, ADHD, autism, OCD, you name it. Like, you go for it. Yes, you're a little child, so I should not be making, not 6, and I don't really see anything. But, you know, go and have your big feelings. You're allowed to have those big feelings, and we do not judge here, at least in my opinion. So, but yeah, it was getting longer and longer and longer, and I think that people don't really realize, like, when people at Apple say, oh, it'll only be another minute, oh, it'll only be another minute, you want to be optimistic. It's kind of like going in the candy store as a kid, running through everything, and then, you know, waiting in the ice cream line both of them and waiting for your favorite flavor, only for it to be sold out, or it's still coming but not thawed enough or unpackaged. So it's like you're waiting and waiting and waiting, only to be stuck. And it's like there's nothing worse than being told patience is a virtue. It's like, yes, but can I still, this would go a lot faster maybe if I moved out of here and cover spot. Not to mention that my dad and I are both ADHD, even if he refuses to acknowledge it. My dad and I are both ADHD, and we went in the wrong side of how to get into the store. So we had to walk all around. He thought that he saw a shortcut, and then he's like, let's go. And then he walked all around, and then he's like, wait, no, we gotta walk outside. And then we go through the interactive map anyway before when we're looking for it. And I kept telling him, I think I know which way to go. But here's the thing. It's like a never-ending journey, obviously, like with... because we think we know better than like Siri and other things, and also you're both so opinionated that it's like, no, one of us says this, another person says this, and it's like, no, I'm losing interest in you. No, big squabble to then, wait, what were we talking about? Let me go back here. Like, it's just never ending. But it's like, yeah, who said that the two ADHD people should go like and follow a map? Who said that we do have great memories, but somehow when we start to unlock them, we can't quite remember? Like, yeah, there's a really bad... like, the reason that the place, like, where we parked is a ghost town is because there's no shop there right now. It's getting replaced, and then we can do the little running through the, like, way instead of... walking one way, then another way. Not to mention, separately, walks. I cannot say that word around my dog anymore because I swear to God, she literally has like a timer. Like last night, we only took her for a short walk, and then tonight, she's like all over us. After she ate, she's like, come on, time is money. Walking is my time. Mother, Sara, get going. And it's just like all this yada. She gets following us, and we haven't even eaten dinner yet. She gets her dinner because she gets kibble. Very nutritious kibble, let me add. So for all you raw feeders and all this about my dog gets this and no like, stop. Okay, kibble is fine. Kibble is the most balanced. Leave us alone. You are not better because you don't feed your dog kibble, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. But she's like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And you need to realize that you are gonna go. But she like sits there and huffs at us every 2 seconds, like, you're not done with your dinner yet? Like, come freaking on. And then she takes us for like a 25-minute walk, and she's like, got nothing in my brain. And then all of a sudden she gets so far ahead of my mom at one point, like, where she's like stopped, halted, and then waits and starts looking for her, and then almost starts jumping on her. And before anyone says, we've worked on etiquette and all that stuff, she is a bearded collie, okay? They're nicknamed the Bouncy Beardies for a reason, and they are joy in a fursuit, as a lot of people would say, and it's just how it is gonna be. We work on it a lot, and she's very good for the most part, but yeah, she loves my mom, so it's really hard for her to kind of contain that excitement, but she's gotten really good. But she just, like, gets so sassy sometimes. She just upset me. And for anyone who knows from earlier this year, she almost died because she has Addison's disease and adrenal gland stuff exists, but you should definitely check out with a doctor. Kind of like high cortisol stuff that I've been dealing with. So, she is my heart and soul dog as I describe everything that is going on right now with that situation. So yeah. Anyway, this has been episode 2 of season 3. I am super excited for a lot of shows to be returning after the strike. And, maybe not. I will get to, connect more with other people, maybe be on screen, who knows. But, I'm taking this year for me more, and I think that I encourage other people to do that as well, make some me time, whatever, but also know that SAG-AFTRA strong, WGA strong, etc. My heart is with you, and just know that you don't have to vote the way everyone else does. Also, though, I get that there's like a lot of levels and nothing's gonna be perfect, but it's just a very delicate balance. And again, I don't know as much, but people can say that there's like so many issues. But again, you can renegotiate. Well, I shouldn't say you can just renegotiate in 3 years, because everything is easier said than done. But it's just a never-ending roller coaster of, what is the right way. And I think that that's where we never know. Also, the fact of the matter is, I am so supportive of unions that I can't really say I have a better decision than you, because that's not true either. But I want to say again, thankful for everyone that I've connected through all of this. I am so glad to be a part of this community, even if I'm just non-union. I think, though, that, the reason why unions are still so important is it protects the people, the places, the things. And even though, right now with how AI is set up, it's not great at all, but at least there's still a little bit of something that's still like a protection more so. And, people can keep fighting, but at the same time, it's hard to be completely perfect. And I completely agree, though, how creepy it is that, like that this person could completely like be me and whatever. But at least I did see in some ways that there is at least residuals for after, using your thing. And that's why I'm just saying why it is so important to stay union strong, to keep moving forward, and obviously try to make it better for the people to come. And that's why, like, again, I stand with all of you. So this has been episode 2 of GenZGab season 3, and we will see you soon.